Hi, folks. When I saw Smaug the Impenetrable first revealed, I knew I wanted to build him immediately. There's just something about a massive, indestructible dragon with a ridiculous treasure generating ability that gets me hyped. But here's the really interesting part: Smaug doesn't want to attack to make treasures, he actually wants to be hit by non combat damage. That opens up some fun and interesting interactions and some pretty broken ones. So I just wanted to take today to show some of the top synergy cards I've found so far and see which ones really make this commander shine. So I'll do it in three parts. First part is going to be about the damage engine cards. So before we even think about treasure payoffs, we need to find reliable ways to damage Smaug for everything to work and the game plan to get going. So first up is Pyrohemia. If I had to choose one card that sums up this commander, it'd probably be Pyrohemia. And what we'll go on to in a moment is Pestilence, which is very similar. So every activation deals damage to every creature and every player. Smaug survives as many of those as you want, thanks to being indestructible, and it rewards you with a treasure every single time you activate it. So it's removal, treasure generation, and a win condition all wrapped into one. It is pretty much the perfect card for this deck. Next up is Pestilence. Pestilence does pretty much exactly the same thing as Pyrohemia. Again, the great thing here is you're completely in control of activating the ability. So you can do it on opponent's turn, your turn, whenever you want. If you need more treasures, just activate them a few times. If you need to board wipe, activate them as many times as you need to clear the board. Keep going, and if you've got the most life, keep activating him until everyone else is dead. Pretty much, they're both amazing win cons and just perfect for this deck. Definitely going to want both of them. Next up is a bit of a pet card for me. It's Aether Flash. Aether Flash is really sneaky. Every creature entering the battlefield immediately takes damage, including Smaug. So when he enters, he'll take 2 damage and you'll get 2 treasure tokens straight away. So it starts paying you back as soon as you cast him, really. And it will also cause your opponents to have to think twice about playing their small creatures, which is always nice. Next up is Fire Covenant. So Fire Covenant gives you complete control of your damage. You can choose any number of targets for the damage, depending on how much life you want to take, of course. But you can clear the creatures you don't like, whilst choosing exactly how many treasures you want to make out of Smaug with it. Obviously, at instant speed is great. Next up, it's a classic Lightning Bolt. Sometimes magic is beautifully simple. 1 red mana, 3 damage to Smaug, 3 treasures, or just a little bit of removal if you need it. Next up, Self Destruct. This is definitely one of the spicier cards for the deck. It's something I've not seen played yet, but it's exactly the kind of forgotten interaction you want for this commander. It fits perfectly. Next up, Blasphemous Act. This was probably the first card I added when I thought about this deck. I'm sure it was for everyone. 13 damage means 13 treasures, while almost everything else dies, as long as you've got Smaug out, obviously. Chain Reaction. This scales with the table. The bigger the battlefield, the more treasures you're going to generate from the damage that it deals to Smaug. So this could be an explosion of treasures, depending on the battlefield state. So yeah, really great card again. Star of Extinction. 20 damage sounds great until you remember, for your opponents at least, until you remember and they remember Smaug survives. 20 treasures generated from this as long as he's on the battlefield. That's 20 damage to each planeswalker as well, and destroying a pesky land. What more can you want? So, part 2. So yeah, now we've got a reliable way to generate a lot of treasures from those cards. What do we do with it? what are the payoffs? First up, Zorn. So, Zorn is wonderfully straightforward. If Smaug were to make a treasure, make an extra one. Can't get better than that. Next, Goldspan Dragon, an absolute classic for the treasure decks. I mean, it fits pretty naturally in almost every treasure strategy. More treasure, more mana, and even bigger explosive turns. Next, Magda, Brazen Outlaw. Magda keeps the treasures flowing while giving you another payoff later in the game, searching for your dragon creatures or artifacts. It's incredibly powerful. I've played with it a lot and had it give me some crazy turns. After that, Reckless Fireweaver. This is where things start getting really silly. Every treasure entering now deals damage to every opponent. So some of those big damage spells we talked about previously would go amazingly with this as long as that's redirected onto Smaug. Ingenious Artillerist. It works in a similar way, rewarding every artifact entering the battlefield with some damage. Suddenly, your treasure production becomes a direct damage and a bit of a threat. Mayhem Devil. Every treasure cracked is going to become another point of damage, exactly where you want it. This does go infinite with Smaug, so if you have another creature that pings damage when a token enters or leaves, it's game over for your opponents. Marionette Apprentice gives your treasure tokens another job. Instead of just making mana, every sacrifice now starts draining your opponents. Mirkwood Bats. This might honestly be my favourite payoff. It's always a threat whenever I play it. Gets removed pretty quickly. And yeah, opponents lose life when treasures enter and again when treasures leave. So it's that additional trigger you get over the other ones. So with Smaug and some damage on the table, it can drain everyone really quickly. Nightblade keeps the pressure going. Every treasure leaving the battlefield slowly chips away at everyone's life total while getting your life up, which is great. Jury quietly gets enormous in this deck. Every treasure sacrifice grows him until eventually he throws all that damage at someone's face, which is good. At this point, we've got treasure coming in, treasure going out, and everyone's life totals disappearing. But these last few cards really take that deck somewhere special. Pariah's Shield, redirecting damage on to a commander that actually wants to be damaged feels completely broken. I absolutely love it. So this could be one of the best defensive cards in the deck for sure. Heroes for Hire is another interesting piece of tech that gives you a way of getting through your deck by impulse drawing, making sure you don't run out of gas after one huge treasure turn. Dawnsire, Sunstar Dreadnought. Definitely one of those experimental inclusions. This is exactly the type of card I like testing because sometimes they are a bit overlooked, but they end up being absolute stars of the deck. I mean, that 100 damage onto Smaug is just, wow. If you land that, it's going to be amazing. What a rush that'll be. Last up, Fiery Emancipation. Now, this card is just absurd. Fiery Emancipation triples all damage dealt by sources you control. That includes damage you're dealing to Smaug as well. Suddenly, Lightning Bolt isn't dealing 3 damage anymore, it's dealing 9, which is great. Blasphemous Hack jumps from 13 damage to a massive 39, meaning Smaug creates 39 treasures tokens instead. On top of that, all of your damage payoffs become even more threatening. It's an expensive enchantment for sure, but if it sticks, the deck goes from powerful to completely explosive. It's one of those cards where your opponents have to answer immediately, because if they don't, your next turn is probably going to be completely out of hand, for sure. And then, just on the end, how could I not include another version of Smaug? It's a brilliant flavor inclusion and another treasure payoff all rolled into one, so it fits nicely. So these are the biggest synergy cards I've found so far for Smaug the Impenetrable, but I'm almost certain I've missed some amazing interactions. So let me know in the comments what cards you're planning to build around, because I genuinely love to know where everyone takes this commander. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe for more Commander brews here on Ponder MTG, and I'll catch you in the next one. Thanks.